At this time, it is with a great deal of pleasure that I get to introduce our third prepared speaker for this evening. Jay has been a member of Carrollwood Toastmasters for 4 years. Since having to use his wheelchair, Jay has not been able to go back to the theater. Before the chair, Jay was doing 3 and 4 plays a year in community theater in the great Tampa area. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you I Was Here Before by Jay Furnari.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, I have been here before. That's an expression that basically is, excuse me, I can't do this because I can't see the timer. Okay, I'm sorry, we have to go back. Déjà vu is a French word that means, in psychology, it means this. It's the illusion of having previously experienced something actually being encountered for the first time. The first time that happened to me was about 40 years ago. I was at a situation and I knew what was going to happen. I knew what people were going to say. And I couldn't understand how the heck did I know all that? This is the first time I've been put in this situation. So I started to study about it. There's a book that was written by Dr. Brian Weiss called Of Many Lives, Many Masters. Dr. Weiss was a psychiatrist at the University of Miami School of Medicine. And he basically said in his writings that we all have had past experiences in our lives, that we're not here for the first time. I listened to what he had to say. I didn't totally take it in at that time and believe everything he had to say, but I went to one of his workshops. And in his workshops, he did what he called regression therapy. In other words, they bring you back to past lives that you might have lived. There was one in that life that I lived back one generation back where I was a cowboy. Okay, that's what he says. That's what he said. It says. Let's go along with that. About 18 years ago, Alex and I were moving out to Las Cruces, New Mexico. When I was driving that U-Haul truck with everything we owned in it, crossing El Paso into Las Cruces, into the high desert, all of a sudden, I knew exactly where I was. I don't know how. I knew exactly where I was. I was there before. But why? Why is it coming to me now? Well, one of the first things I did when I got there is I had to change all my clothes. My button-down shirts and my chino pants weren't going to work in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I had to buy boots and new jeans and Western shirts and bought myself a couple of new hats because I was there before. There are parts of Las Cruces, New Mexico that I can tell you about without even going to there. We lived behind the Oregon mountains. These mountains were the back of our house. And yet I knew every inch of those mountains. I rode them on a horseback one time. There was a town called Mesilla Valley. It's outside of Las Cruces. It's an old Western town. I know that town. I was in that town. I took a stagecoach that went through that town. It sounds foolish, I know. People are saying, Jay, you really don't believe that, do you? Well, it's not that I disbelieve it. You know, there's a theory that was taught in high school chemistry or high school biology or whatever science it was, that we cannot destroy energy. Energy actually becomes another matter, but we can't destroy energy. Well, our body has energy in it. Our heart has had energy in it. Our brains have energy in it. When we go, where does that energy go? Well, one of the theories that I've always expounded to is that it floats above us. The energy floats above us. And sooner or later, that energy is going to lay on a newborn. How can a girl that's 10 years old sing an aria like a prima donna at the Metropolitan Opera? How can a child, 5 years old, sit down at a piano and play a concerto by Chopin at the age of 5? I've been playing piano almost all my life, and I couldn't do that at the age of 5. I couldn't do that at the age of 15. But we see that there are people in this world that have different kinds of genius. Where does that genius come from? What happens to us when we do die? I don't know. It's a theory. It's a theory I've read. It's a theory I've lived. But does it really happen? I've read every one of the books that Dr. Weiss has written, and he tells a story about how he found out, how he turned to past life regressions. He was talking with his first patient, and he hypnotized her and brought her back to a life that she told him everything about his grandparents. There's no way that woman would have known that. He said it was past life regression. I don't know. Was I in a position in Las Cruces, New Mexico, that I knew everything I needed to know about that place and never been there? No, I hadn't been there in this lifetime, but maybe I was there once before. Maybe so. Who knows? Maybe we've all been there before. Thank you.